Good afternoon, everybody. How are we all? It's freezing. I don't like the winter. Good afternoon, Anne. You were very, very early. Hi, Karen. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Connie. Hi, Hazel. Hi, Donna. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Lorraine. Hi, Jean. You wonder what the cheeky deal is? Well, don't know. Might not tell you now. Hi, Val. Hi, Teresa. Cold there too. Yeah, I think it's cold everywhere, to be honest. I mean, I look in the distance and I can see the sun shining and I think, oh, it looks nice. Till you open the back door and think, no, it's not. I'm not going out. I don't like the cold. Hi, Jodie. Hi, Yvonne. Don't think I've seen that name before, so welcome if it's your first time. Hi, Sue. Yeah, very, very bitter wind, Sue. I totally agree with you. From California, USA. Well, welcome. I bet it's warmer in California than it is here. What's your weather like, Yvonne? Hi, Linda. First time. Well, welcome. I hope you enjoy it. Hi, Doreen. Lovely to get the washing out, though. I won't comment on that, Val. It's too cold. I do all my washing on a Sunday because good old British Gas give me half price electric. So I do all mine on a Sunday. I bet you were, so. I bet you were. Hi, Susan. Hi, Carol. Hi, Patricia. Okay. Well, there's a fair few of you here, so shall we make a start? So, as my little banner said, I thought I would look back in my my Lisa Horton Crafts stash and see what I'd got that I haven't used for ages and ages and ages, and do something a little bit different. So that's what I'm doing. Hi, Bonnie. 50 degrees. Well, I'm not jealous at all, Yvonne. Not at all. I'd rather have it cold. Not. Make the most of it. I'm hoping we get a decent summer this year. Hi, Jan. Hi, Susan. Okay, so as I said, I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. So we're making the envelope to go with a matching card. Okay, so we're using all the same colours, not necessarily matching dies or embossing folders, but the colours and everything match. So it sort of makes it look like a little set. Okay, so I am using this Slimline Multi Envelope Die set. Now, I know there aren't many left on the website, and you can see up here the QR code for Lisa's website. This is normally $29.99, okay? And at $29.99, it's a good price because you get a lot of metal for your money and it's so versatile. But until Friday, it's only $19.99. Now, there aren't huge numbers on the website, so I'm going to use this again on Thursday, and I'm actually going to make a little memory book thing, little album. I might do two. I might do a full-size one and a small one. I don't know yet. Depends how much time I get to prepare everything. So definitely one using this set, okay, and numerous different papers and whatever to decorate some of the pages. I won't decorate it all because we'd be here for hours. Hi, Sarah. So I'm not going to decorate it all. I will just decorate a few pages. So as I say, on offer till Friday, $19.99. Okay, and then I'm also using the Blooming Lovely die set because I love these flowers. I've seen a couple of cards in the group this week with them on over the last week, and I thought I haven't used those for ages, so I'll use those as well. So that they feature on my card. I've also made a little gift card holder using this set. I'm not going to use it in my live because I know that I think there's only one left on Lisa's website and there may be one left on Create and Craft. I'm not even sure of the price because I haven't used it, I didn't check. But it is a lovely little set to have. And if you think back to the samples that Miriam did and put in the group, a lot of hers were based around this set, and it's such a versatile little set. It's so cute. So if you want that, I'd be dead quick, because I know there are only a couple. One on Lisa's website, maybe one on Create and Craft. And then I'm using the DITSY Florals embossing folder. This is quite an early folder. This is number 38. I think we're on 230 something at the moment. So this is very early, but it's one of my absolute favourites. I just think it's so pretty. So I've used that on my card. Okay, so if I put that to one side, and then if I just show you what you get, put those to one side as well. I'll just show you what you actually get in this set. Okay, so you get your main big piece that makes the sort of the back of your envelope, and then you get your piece to cut out your side flaps. Okay, these can sit as panels either on the front of your envelope or on your card, whatever you want to do with them. You can obviously cut them down to size as well, so you don't have to make a full size envelope. You can cut it in half. Now, when I put this video, when I go back and edit this, there is a video that Lisa did quite some time ago now about this set, and I'll put a link to that video underneath mine, because Lisa goes into great detail about how to use it and cut it down and decorate it and all sorts, and it's a lovely video. So I'll link to that one as well. So the two together will give you loads of ideas. Okay, and then these two pieces here are your end flaps, one for the top and one for the bottom. And if you don't want to cut them square like that, you can cut them out, and then you can use one of these two fabulous little dies here and make a different edge on your flap for your top and your bottom. And that's what I've done with mine today. Yeah, it's a... Which set do you mean, Margaret? The little gift card holder set? I think I remember you putting those in the group, and they were fabulous. Thanks, Bonnie. So yeah, you can either do a scalloped edge or just a curved edge. So you just place that on top of your cut piece of card to change the shape of the flaps at the top and the bottom of the envelope. And then you get, where's my others? I've put them somewhere. These four little dies here come all joined together. I'm not quite sure where I've put them. I must have put them in a different... I think I've put them back in the gift card packet, but never mind. So these four little dies come joined together. You can leave them joined together if you want to. That's what I've done. I haven't separated these because I know what I'm like. If I separate them, I'll lose them. So I've left them all in one piece. And then you get your paper hugs die as well. And that just cuts out your words, which you can use there. Okay, so those are all your pieces. And like I say, they will all come joined together. So take them all apart, just snip them all apart, other than this set of four here. I'd leave those together just for a safety thing, just so that you don't lose too many pieces, to be honest. Okay, so I'll take that off there and I'll put that back, and then we'll get stuck in. So these are all my pieces. Okay, so this is the... If I go through them with the dies as well, it'll make more sense, won't it? So this is the back piece. You can see that fits in there. Okay, obviously you need to make sure that the textured side of your card appears on the outside, because you don't want it on the inside. That would be a waste. And then you've got two flaps here. Okay, so I've cut two of those. Okay, and you'll see that this little line here, this is a score line. It's not a very deep score line, because I think, as Lisa explains in her little video, they didn't want to put the score line too deep so that it actually might have sort of cracked your card or something. So it's only a very faint score line, so you need to be careful when you're scoring this card. Okay, Absolutely, Connie. It's a cracking little set. I love it. I think mine was a Christmas card, the last one I did. I've also cut a panel that's going to go on the front of the envelope, and these are the two flaps that I've cut. And you can see here that I've used the scalloped die, and I've just placed it sort of right near the edge, and just cut my scallop. You can place it however you like. I just chose to go from one end really to the other, and I've done the same top and bottom. Okay, so if I move these out of the way, and we can start and put this together. Now I know Lisa does this slightly different to the way I'm going to show you, and that's part of the reason that I've said I'll link to Lisa's video as well, because then you can choose which way you find easiest. Okay, I just found this a little bit easier for me, but that's just the way my brain works. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to put, I would use red liner tape or a tape runner, whichever you want, and then just add a tiny bit of glue on the top. Now you know I don't normally use red liner tape because tape tends to dry out, but because we're using a little bit of glue on the top, then that will give it that added security. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my tape down here, and then I'm going to add this piece down here like this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it this way, so I've got the right side of my card facing, right side of my card facing, and I'm going to line it up along here. Let me just put this little light on. You might be able to see it better. So I'm literally just going to line it up along that crease line, okay? And I'm just going to sit it just shy of the crease line, okay? So let's put my red liner tape down, and then we're going to go and add a little bit of glue on top of that. You don't want a lot, you just want enough that it's just going to give it that sort of little bit of extra security. Okay, so I'll put the red liner tape on there, lift that off, and then add a little bit of glue down the middle of that tape. And this is Lisa's glue, which I've decanted into a smaller bottle, and this is literally as much glue as you will need. Okay, you won't need very much at all. So then I'm going to add this to here, just making sure I'm doing it the right way. So I'm going to line that up to that crease line, to that score line. You will have not any wiggle room really with this because I've used red liner tape. That's probably a little bit out there, but can't really do anything about it. But never mind, I can trim it off if it shows. And then what I'm going to do, now that I've got that stuck down there, I can fold this over a little bit easier. Okay, and I find that if I run my nail down that score line as I'm folding, it gives me an extra little bit of leverage to fold that over like so. Okay, and then just score that, burnish that so that you've got a good fold line. Okay, doesn't really sit proud. What you want is a smooth edge. You don't want anything sitting proud here. Okay, it is actually a little bit low, but I really don't think it's going to make that much difference, to be honest. Okay, and then you're going to do exactly the same with the other flap, and you're going to stick that the other side. Okay, so again, red liner tape. Yes, please do that, Margaret, because I know they were fab. I remember seeing them. So I'll just put my red liner tape down there. I mean, obviously this is one of the disadvantages to using the red liner tape is that you won't get much in the way of, well, if any really, you won't get any wiggle room. Whereas if you were just using glue, which you could just use glue, but because I'm doing it live, I don't want to run the risk of it sort of not not adhering properly by just using the glue, because obviously the glue is wet. Although, to be fair, Lisa's glue does dry really, really quickly. So I'm going to leave that there, and then I'm going to line this up right up against that crease line there, and hope that I get it a little bit more accurate. No, 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 no. No, don't do what I do, idiot girl. I'm going to mess that up now, haven't I? Put it down on the wrong side. Never mind. Let's see if we can find a way of disguising that. I might be able to take that off with my residue eraser. We'll see. Okay. And then, again, I'm going to just fold that up. And as I fold it up, I'm just going to run my nail along that score line. And then I can fold it over and then burnish it. Okay, so there's your two flaps there. Okay, and then you're just going to put a little bit of glue down this side here to join them in the middle. All right, I mean, you won't want a lot of glue because you don't want it seeping out this side, because obviously it's going to go on the back here, and then you're going to stick your flap to the back of the envelope, and that won't work properly. Hi Wendy. Okay, so that's that bit. But before we seal that, we're just going to put the flaps on. And again, the flaps work in exactly the same way. So you've got the large one at the top, which is going to go there, and the smaller one at the bottom. And I'm going to do them in exactly the same way as I did the two side panels. Okay, but hopefully I'm going to try and stick them on the right side of the card this time. I was very lucky that I managed to take that off, because this red liner tape is very unforgiving. But never mind. Worse things happen at sea, apparently. So, red liner tape, a little bit of glue on the top. And you can see I'm not really using a lot of glue there at all. You know, there isn't a lot of glue on there. You see that? It's very, very fine. So again, I'm going to turn that over, and I'm going to put that, line it up with that flap that's going to sit on the bottom. Is that right? Is that right? Yeah, that's right, isn't it? I'm questioning myself now. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so again, line it up with the crease, turn it back over, and then a little bit at a time, you can just fold that up. I mean, you could use a bone folder if you've got no nails, or you don't want to use your nails. Use your bone folder just to go along that crease line as you're folding the card up, and then you can fold that over like that and burnish it. Okay, you want these folds to be really crisp. Okay, so that when it's closed, that's going to fasten the bottom of your envelope like that. Okay, and I think that little scalloped edge really sets it off. So we're going to put the top one on again in exactly the same way. A little bit of red liner tape, and then a little bit of glue on the top, and add it in exactly the same way as we've done all the others. Okay, once you've cut everything out, it is really pretty straightforward, if I'm honest, providing you remember which side you're sticking it, of course. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of glue onto that red liner tape, just for added security, and then we're going to stick it, same again, sticking it to that crease line along the middle. It is quite difficult to see the crease line, if I'm honest, because it is a soft crease line, but you can see it. It does show up. So again, not going to use my bone folder, just going to use my nails. So fold it up. As long as you're folding it against something, you're not going to crease the card in the wrong place. And then you can carry on and just fold it over and burnish it. Okay, and then that will be the top of your envelope, like so. Okay, now there are lots of ways of doing a closure on these. You can use a hole punch here and a hole punch down here. You know, if you've got what is it, a crocodile? I haven't got one of those. And you can use a little bit of twine, or you could just put a little bit of double-sided tape along here and obviously leave the cover on the one side until you're ready to seal the envelope. And that's what I would do. I think when Lisa does hers, she uses two of the little cutouts. This little cutout here, she uses two of these and puts them onto tiny little foam pads, and then wraps some twine around the two, so that it's sort of like a treasury envelope. Do you remember those? Like they used to tie them rather than seal them with tape and stuff. So along here, I'm literally just going along the edge here, because I don't want to go too heavy with my glue, because obviously I don't want it seeping out over the edge here and ending up on the back. Okay, so I'm just going to fasten that over there. Going to hold that down for just a couple of seconds. Just see if I can catch up with your comments while I'm waiting for that. Well, you know, it's a piece of card at the end of the day, Linda, isn't it? It's not the end of the world, is it? But, you know, it's because you're trying to do this, talk to people, watch comments, and not get things wrong. Well, you know, whatever. But if I use, I'm not sure if it'll work, but if I use the residue eraser from Lisa, which I think is still on Create and Craft, not sure if it's on Lisa's website. No, I've got a way of hiding that. I'm going to hide that in a second, I'll show you. So this end piece is the bottom part, so I am going to put glue on this one, and then all I would do is put a little bit of tape on there. I'm not going to do that at the moment because my double-sided tape is, I don't know where, and I don't want to use red liner tape because that's just too strong. People try and open the envelope, they'll probably rip it rather than open it nicely. So it'll just be sort of finger lift tape, you know, which isn't really that strong, is it? Okay, so if I just hold that down for just a couple of seconds. Yeah, you can do, Sarah. You can put it back in your scoreboard and deepen those score lines if you want to. But I honestly don't really think you need to be fair. Hi Beverly, hi Natalia. Okay, so that's the front of my envelope done, all right? And then my panel that I'd cut will go on the front here, okay? But what I'm going to do afterwards, I'm not going to do it now because it means I've got to go and find some different card, is I'm just going to cut a thin piece of card, possibly in a different colour to match the other thing that I'm going to put on the front in a minute, and I'm just going to run that thin piece of card all the way along the edge there and all the way along the edge here, so that I've got matching sort of tram lines, if you like, and hopefully it will hide all that mess that I made by putting it on the wrong side. So there is always a way around it, so don't just look at it and think, oh, I've spoilt it now, I'll chuck it away, because there's always a way of hiding things. Never worry. You know, they're not mistakes, they're happy accidents. Okay, because it means you can do something a little bit different than you were going to do in the first place. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that down there as near to the middle as I can get. Okay, and then my little words are going to go down here. Now you can see I've cut these in a different colour because I wanted to, and they match what I'm going to do on the card. Okay, so my paper hugs will go there, and I cut a little heart which I'm going to put here just because I can. Alright, so if I just put this down here, I'll leave that word there because I want to place this in the right place. And if I leave the paper in place, then the hugs will sit in the right place when I come to add it down. Now you could cut this again in black or grey if you wanted to add a drop shadow, but I didn't want to add any other colour to this piece on the front. I have done on the card that I'm making, but not on the envelope. So we're going about here so that it just sort of sits on the edge, and the G obviously hangs over, which is fine. And then the little paper word will go above that, and then my heart will go above that, and then we can move on to putting the card together. Now I know I haven't die cut any of this, but you know they're just straightforward die cut pieces. I mean, I haven't done it live, but they're straightforward die cut pieces, and it's the putting it together that sort of is going to take you time. So I thought, well, if I die cut everything ready, then we can spend a little bit more time putting it together. Okay, so I'm just going to place that there. So I'm going to sit the P in the middle of the H. Okay, and actually I think I might put the heart. No, I won't. I'll stick with what I was going to do. Don't change your mind halfway through, Dawn. It never works. Okay, a little bit of glue on there, and then I can just pop that down there like so. And if you wanted to put something up here, top corner, you could do. The little envelope is dead cute. This little envelope here, the heart drops out. So if you wanted to cut it twice in two different colours, so you could cut it in pink or cut it in the dark green to put on here, and cut the heart, cut it again in pink, and so that it matches, everything matches. Okay, but that's entirely up to you. If you wanted to cut it in pink to add on here, obviously the green background is going to show through that little hole where that heart was. So you only need to cut one if you want to. Okay, totally up to you. So ignoring that mess down the side, I'm such a twit. There's your envelope ready made. Okay, now you can see here that I have actually got a little bit of sort of overhang there, but I'm not worried about it because it's the overhang of the flap. All right, and if I do what I said I was going to do with that contrasting card, so if I cut some card in this pink here and go down the side, I can hide that overhang as well, because if I take it right to the side, right to the edge, then it's going to hide both things, and I can do the same on the other side. Okay, so you need to be as near to the crease as you can get. Okay, and Lisa's video probably will show you that better than I've done. Okay, so it's a cracking little video. Oh, oh, thanks, Connie. I should go and have a look at that. Okay, so that's the envelope. Okay, so then I'm going to put the card together. Now, this card is half of an 8x8 card, and all I've done is cut the 8x8 card in half. So I've like cut the front and the back apart, and I've just folded it in half. Okay, because it just makes the card the perfect size to go in my envelope. Okay, so then I thought, well, okay, we're going to decorate it. So this is cut with one of the panels that I showed you. So one of these. I've actually used the bigger one, but what I did, because I wanted it to fit this card, is I've cut it down. Okay, so when you're changing the size of your rectangle, when you're cutting it, make sure you hang it over the edge of your plates so that your die, if I show you quickly, so your die with your card, I know it's not the right way around, hangs over the edge of your plate, because where you've got no plate like that, this isn't going to cut, okay? And then you can move your die up the card or down the card, whether you're making it bigger or short, longer or shorter. You can then move this die up or down your card to make it longer. And then when you recut it, when you move this, you'll find that the die actually seats itself in those stitch lines. So because Lisa's got these fabulous stitch lines, can you see those? She's got these fabulous stitch lines all the way around. This die will seat into those stitch lines, okay? So you'll know that you're not going to get, because what would happen if they didn't sit in there like that is you would get two stitch lines too close together, and then you'll end up cutting the stitch line bit off. Do you know what I mean? So when you're moving this die, make sure that you'll get to a point where the card will slide, and then it won't slide anymore because it's actually seated itself back into those same stitch lines, okay? And then when you put this in, because you've moved it down, you'll put the other end hanging over your die plates so that it doesn't cut this end, okay? It's very clever, and it is quite easy, a bit fiddly, but it's quite easy, okay? So don't be put off by trying to change the size of your panels, okay? You can. So I'm going to add this down here. Now obviously I'm not going to 3D this, because if I 3D it with everything else that I'm going to put on, it might not sit in my envelope right, okay? There is a little bit of room in here, but there won't be an awful lot, okay? So if you do everything 3D on here, it's not going to slide in here properly, so bear that in mind. All right, so if I just add my glue onto my panel, and then we can put this down. I'm going to use my big bottle actually, because it's a little bit quicker. Well, it is when it's not blocked. Bear with. It doesn't block very often, if I'm honest, this glue. It's really, really lovely glue. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's glue, and if it does, it does. But it'll soon unblock. Because it's got sort of, you can sort of pull it out, and it'll sort of pull a little string out. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so that's my first panel that's going on the front of the card, like so. Now if I wanted to, because I'm going to do what I said on the front of here to hide this, so I'm going to cut pink to go down the side here, I could just go round with a really fine liner, like one of Lisa's fabulous fine liner pens in a pink, and just do a little squiggly line all the way around so that it matched even better. Do you know what I mean? So there's a way of sort of tying it all in together to make it look like you planned to put those pink strips down the side there, not because you'd made a boo-boo. Okay, so that's the base of my card. And then I thought, well, I want a bit of embossing on the front. So I used that DITSY Florals folder, and I'd got a piece of card which I just inked very, very gently. In fact, I'm not even sure that you can see the ink colour on there. There is actually some there. It's very, very pale, but that was all I wanted. I just wanted a hint of colour. And all I've done is I've used very light brushing with sugar candy and natural turquoise, so that again I'm keeping all those colours in the same vein. Okay. Hi Irina. welcome. I've not seen that name before. Welcome if it's your first time. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so I've embossed, again, I've cut one of the panels, the smaller one this time. And again, I've changed the size of that panel because obviously I want it to fit this card. Okay. And then I'm just going to, again, not 3D in this. I'm just going to add this panel, make sure I add it the right way up, to the top of that card. And then we can put our decoration on the top. Being a little bit more generous with the glue on this panel because it's embossed. And obviously the embossing on Lisa's folders is so deep that I just want to make sure that it's not going to go anywhere. So I am always a little bit more generous with an embossed piece than I am with just plain card. Okay, so I'm going to put that panel down there. Now I don't know whether you can see here, I've got ink here. Because I've got ink on my hands when I was doing the brushing of the ink onto the card. And I thought, I'll have to throw it away and start again. I thought, no, I won't. Happy accidents. They're not mistakes, they're happy accidents. So what I thought I would do is, I'm using the Blooming Lovely die set, as I showed you at the beginning. And I've cut my flowers. I've cut a set of the leaves. I've cut the stems for the flowers. Okay. And what I thought I would do is, I'm going to leave this here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is this little leaf die, I'm going to snip into. Okay. So I'm going to take that bit there. And this piece, I'm going to glue to the back of here so that you can't see the actual piece of stem. Okay. And that little leaf there is going to cover my bit of ink on my card. Okay. So there is always a way of getting round little sort of, you know, the famous one is they always add a butterfly, isn't it? Well, a butterfly would look a bit silly down there. So this was the next best option. Okay, so I'm gluing that leaf to the back of the stems for the flowers so that now all you can see is the actual leaf part. And that's going to sit there so that it will hide my ink. Okay, and then this one is going to sit a little bit higher up behind the other stem so that I've got a leaf coming off the side there as well. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on here. And because this stem is a little bit thicker, it means I'm going to be able to hide the leaf stem behind the flower stem. Okay, so all you're going to be able to see is the actual leaf part. Okay, and then I'm going to put that down on my card. I want it at an angle, and it will hide my ink mistake down here. Okay, so let's put this down first. And again, I've used exactly the same colour card all the way through this set so that it all matches. Oops. And I'll put my glue on here. I'll never worry about it sort of just oozing out of the side slightly, because this glue dries clear, it really isn't going to matter. So I'm going to place this down here, making sure that I hide that little ink splat that I made because I've got ink on my fingers, and place that down there. Okay, so you can't see the stem on the leaves and you can't see my little mistake with the ink. Okay, and then I'm going to add my flowers here and here, so you can see the stems and the flowers and the leaves. You can see everything, which I really like. And I'm just going to add the glue sort of down the bottom of these leaves so that I can actually shape those leaves a little bit. Okay, I'll show you what I mean in a second. So I'm going to add this down here. You can see how much glue I put on there. There wasn't a lot at all. Okay, and I've done the same when I've added my layers on my flowers. So when you use these, you get several different versions of the petals. You get this stem here, which is the one I'm using. There's another double stem here with leaves on. This little stem with those two little leaves on that I've used and split down. And then you get all the centres. Okay, so there are different sizes of centres because there are different sizes of flowers. Okay, and there are lots of different combinations. You can join them together facing each other so that it looks like a full flower if you want to. I know there are a lot of samples in the group. If you go to the albums and look in the albums, you'll see lots of different samples using that set. And it is such a versatile little set. Cutting them in loads of different colours, or even black and white. They look stunning in black and white as well. So make sure you go and have a look at the albums in the group. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that down there for just a couple of seconds, purely and simply because I'm adding this to embossed card. Okay, and then I'm quite literally just going to bend up those petals only very slightly, and I'm only using sort of the back of my nail. If you wanted to, you could use your bone folder, or if you've got a little ball tool, you could use that. And to lift that up a little bit, and just give them a little bit of dimension. I know that when you put them into the envelope, it might flatten them a bit, but if you put them in with dimension, when somebody gets them out the other end, they'll see that dimension. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just literally adding just a little curve to those petals, not much, just enough to give it a little bit of shape. And I'm not worried about them coming away from the card because I've used Lisa's glue, and once you've used that, it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, I'll leave that last one because it's behind another petal. You see how just lifting those little petals just gives it an extra little bit of dimension. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, you could even add a little bit of ink around the edges of those petals to give it another bit of dimension, but I didn't bother, quite simply. And then again, I've used the happy birthday, which comes from the gift card set, the little gift card holder. That comes from this set. So you get happy Christmas, happy birthday, for you, gift for you, love you. So there's lots of little options there, and again there's little hearts and little stars, but it's such a clever little set. This is one die, this for the gift card holder, and then you get some tiny little rectangles so that you can put a panel on the front as well. Okay, clever little set. So I've used the same colour card as I've used all the way through, and you can see on this one I have done a drop shadow. Can you see that? So I've used the dark green that I've made the envelope out of and used it as a drop shadow behind the pink, just to sort of set the pink off a little bit on top of that embossing. So I've just had this with my little ink bottle, my little glue bottle even. And again, I am going to be reasonably generous with the glue as far as I can. Obviously, I can't be overly generous because they're very narrow words. But so long as I put on enough glue to stick to that embossing wherever this sort of lands, then I know it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, so the happy at the top. There are occasions when you can't rescue it, I agree, but gems always come in useful. gems, butterflies, extra little pieces of card, flowers, leaves, anything really. But as Lorraine's just said, sometimes it doesn't matter what you try and use. Sometimes it's beyond redemption, but hopefully not too often. So I'll just finish adding my glue to this to add this down here. And then because I've got that green drop shadow, everything's still going to tie in with what I've used down here. Okay. I really like that. I think that's dead pretty. Okay, so there's my envelope, my card, and then I made a little gift card holder. And you can see here that I have literally just inked up a piece of card. I've got to be honest, this was one that I'd got ready-made, but I just happen to have used the right colours that match in with everything else that I've done. Okay, so this is that main die of that set. You see here, that's that main die there, and then this is one of the little rectangles that you get here that you just put your panel on the front. There are three I think. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4 little rectangle dies, and you get obviously your words, and all this was just inked card. This was plain white card that I've just added ink to. It just happened to match my colour scheme for today, so I was quite lucky really. And then you just fold in on the score lines, fold it up and fold it over for that little flap to fold inside there. You can put money, one of those little credit card size gift cards, pop it into your card and pop your card into your envelope. Good, isn't it? I think it's really, really clever. It's such a fabulous idea, and so versatile. So, you know, if you wanted to make it extra special for somebody, why not do it all as a matching set? I think it's such a nice thing to do, so that, you know, they get the envelope and they think, oh, that's nice, and then they open the card and they think, oh, that's nice, and oh, that's even nicer. So, you know, it's just a way of making a little set that all more or less matches. I know the colours on that are slightly different, but I think it all goes together quite well. Okay, so that's your multi slimline envelope die. Don't forget, it is on special offer until Friday. I hazard a guess it will be midnight Friday, or 11:59, and it's a full £10 off at the moment, so that takes it down to £19.99. And believe me, that is a cracking price. It really, really is. So don't miss out. If you want to get it, it's on the website now. Just follow the QR code. Okay, I will use the same set again on Thursday, and as I say, I will make that little album with it. Okay, just something a little bit different. So Claire's with you tomorrow at 2. Not sure what Claire's doing yet, but I'm sure it'll be something fabulous, as it always is. Okay, and me Thursday, and then Lisa Friday. So have a fabulous week. I will see you all on Thursday. I don't think I'm going to be able to make Claire's live tomorrow, so I will see you on Thursday. Have a fabulous week, everybody, and thanks very much for joining me. Take care now. Bye.